Okay,
Are you live?
we are live.
That's wild.
Awesome. Welcome, everybody. This is our podcast called Drawing a Blank. I'm your host, Jerry, alongside my host, William. Today, we're going to be talking about some shit that's been going on the past couple weeks, alongside with some personal topics. First thing we wanted to address is the new Eminem album. I think that's where we're going to go. Will, go ahead and say hi and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Will. That's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. All right, that's fine. So, Eminem releases this album, and everybody's going berserk about it. And I mean, I'm not necessarily berserk. It's more of nobody really gives a fuck. And I think that's interesting. Go ahead.
I wouldn't say nobody gives a fuck. I mean, a lot of people did care. The same day that it was released, the Breakfast Club, they talked about it. And a lot of people commented on it as well. Vince Staples, he tweeted out the line that Eminem said about him.
Right.
So, I mean, people gave a fuck. I guess not much as a fuck as.
Well, what did he say about Vince Staples?
He said, I forget the name of the magazine, but he said you should take the staples out.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it just be like that. But I just think that, and you know, I like Eminem personally. I think that his music's awesome. But to an extent, yeah, I think he is kind of past his peak, his prime. I think he is kind of past his prime to the point where like he has his little place in history, in music history, and I feel like he should have just kept it that way. But I get where he's coming from with releasing this because people were talking a lot of shit about his last album, and I guess he just wanted to prove a point that he's still there at the top. But at the same time, no one's really interested in that kind of music anymore.
Yeah, because kids just want to hear a beat, not really anything lyrical.
Right. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he could have made himself relevant a long time ago if he hadn't gone off the face of the earth for such a long time.
Yeah.
But he did. Like, Jay-Z and Beyonce just released a song recently. They did that whole video where they're in like the art museum or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And that song kind of is modern. In my opinion, I feel like that's a more modern take on hip hop. You know, it's just kind of like fast paced, mumble-ish, and all this. And he could have made more popular music, I guess is what we'll call it, but he chose not to. And so I think it's more of he's just getting mad that people aren't appreciating him. And it's like, I would understand because he's come so far, but I don't know. When your time's up, your time's up. That's the way I feel.
I guess I can see what you're saying there, but I'm gonna try to take it from M's perspective on this.
Okay.
He still wants to make the music that he enjoys, you know. And right. I understand that he was mad that nobody liked his last album because he's an artist. But you know, sometimes you have to take those punches. Right. And I forget what skit it was, and he was talking about somebody saying that he found his address on Twitter like that. So you can't be that mad that one person said that off of Twitter. I mean, Twitter to me is you just go there, you like stuff, and then you just get off. It's not really a place where people voice their comments about an album or something like that.
Right.
So the fact that he go for it.
No, go finish your topic.
But just the fact that he made that little skit where he's like, "Oh, I found this guy's address. You know, I'm not gonna do anything. Possibly."
Right.
It's like don't get that mad.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to be that upset. Like I said, like he has his place in history, in as far as hip hop goes, and I don't think he should have gotten as upset. But at the same time, I guess he just feels disrespected.
Yeah, and
that's understandable. But he has to understand that, like, in my opinion, I feel like Eminem is one of the greatest lyricists to come to hip hop. Since hip hop even started. You know, there are a lot of people now who are good lyricists. You know, he talked about Earl's Sweatshirt, and I feel like Earl is definitely in top 10. Top 10, Earl Sweatshirt's one of the best lyricists I know. Just his flow, his lyrics, the way he just puts everything together is just so smooth. It really just kind of fits together.
Agreed. And it was sad that Earl's father passed away this year. And, you know, as an artist, like I said, Earl took some time off. And he's really reflecting on that.
Right. Earl,
And
yeah, good.
no, after you, after you.
Earl, I think is an interesting character because it's like he's disappeared so many times. You know, when I first found out about Odd Future, when I was in, I want to say I was in like early high school. I think my freshman year. You know, I had listened to Yonkers. I had watched a day, was it a day of Modelo or whatever. It was one of Odd Future's earlier videos where they were just doing vlogs, really. And everybody had been talking about Earl as Earl was like some legend. And you know, Earl had released a few songs or whatever. And when he came back to do his verse for Oldie, everyone freaked out. And that's when I really started to get into Earl, because his verse in Oldie really was just like outrageous. It was crazy. And
like everything Earl does to me is just crazy. Like his album that he released, I think maybe 1 or 2 years ago, I Don't Like Shit, I'm Gonna Go Outside.
Right.
It slapped. It was amazing.
I've yet to hear it, so I'll definitely have to check it out. But Earl's always definitely been in my top 10 favorites. As same with my him with Frank Ocean. Frank Ocean not being with really OF like that. He's not really a part of that. He's doing his own little thing. But Frank's definitely been he's been a big impact to the community just in general, especially with him coming out as being bisexual. I think that's definitely a big step. And same thing with Tyler as well. That really gives back to the community, where it's like they're more comfortable. You know, you don't see a lot of open artists who are open about their sexuality. And hold on.
No, you don't. I'll kind of continue off of that, but you don't, because in the hip hop game, it's a very obscure thing, because you know, we have rappers talking about how many women they get on a daily basis, how much money they have, things like that. So if you're not talking about one of those two things, it's like, why are you trying to reach out and go a different direction than what we've already said?
Right. And you know, I feel like a lot of artists today, you know, they make the like hype music that everybody wants to listen to, and they make all this party music. But I feel like deep down, some of them really do want to make music that they want, like a deeper, in a sense, music. You know, people like, I feel like 6ix9ine, even though 6ix9ine's a very controversial topic with people, I feel like 6ix9ine definitely, even though he's a troll, if he were to sit down and write something and make his own sort of music, I definitely think he would be, he would definitely switch the game up from what he's been doing. But he would definitely just, I think he would express himself a little bit more. And he's definitely a controversial topic. And the reason, all allegations and all the things he's been accused of and all of this stuff aside, as an artist, even though like his music might not be for everybody, you can't say like he's not being successful. You know, he goes on his Instagram and he says, "Hey, I'm gonna release this song, and it's gonna go fucking platinum. You know, it's gonna reach, you know, top Billboard." Everyone's like, "No, your fucking music sucks. This and that." He releases the song, it makes top Billboard. You can't really argue with that,
because he makes some music that people want to hear nowadays, and he's smart about that.
Right?
He's not going to go off and make something lyrical.
Right,
he's going to do what the kids want to hear.
Yeah, and you know, he did a song with Nicki Minaj, and he did an interview on it, and he even said in the interview, he said, you know, that song doesn't make any sense. He said he literally just got into the studio and they were just having fun. That song didn't make any sense. Yeah. But people ate it up. So that goes to show, it's like people will just buy whatever people put out.
Exactly.
And I think that's interesting enough. But back to the whole Eminem thing. I feel like he shouldn't. I mean, even though the album itself is really good, and I think that he was planning this album for a while.
Oh, he had to be. He's released merch.
Yeah, he released merchandise about it. So he definitely had to been thinking about it for a minute. And that's just, he's smart. He knows what he's doing. You know, this isn't his first rodeo in the rap game. So he knew what he was doing. And I feel like he probably knew what he was getting into with releasing the album and talking shit about a lot of people. I'm surprised he really came at Joe Budden's head. That was the one that really threw me off, because Joe Budden did say that he was on like the list of a top 10 list of the most trash like rappers or lyricists. I could see, but he didn't just go without saying like he is pretty good. Like Joe Budden didn't just say that, but M just came out his head. And I mean, then again, who wouldn't? You know, Joe Budden, he caused a lot of controversy in just his little world alone. But at the same time, he tells it how it is. You know, He doesn't give a fuck because it's like, what are they gonna do? Beat his ass on screen? No,
absolutely.
And Joe Budden's a pretty beefy guy, so I can imagine if somebody just throws him across the room, or he just throws, somebody like when he got into it with the Migos, and they were all about to get into it. Like, I don't know. I'd like to see that.
Joe Budden speaks his mind.
Joe Budden does not give a fuck,
and he speaks his mind, and some people just need to hear that, even though they're they don't want to.
Right.
Because like when I don't really recall what happened with the Migos. If you can just catch me up on that.
They were just. I remember they were talking about DJ Academics on the show. It was like I think it was like a year or some change back, and he pretty much told them that like they just kind of make corny music, Like, I don't know if that was really what he said exactly, but he just kind of was like, I'm not really fucking with your music. And they weren't really fucking with him. And then Joe Budden was like, oh, like, we should probably just end it here. And there was some controversy, and all three of them stood up, and they were really about to get into it. And I thought that would have been cool.
Well, I mean, if you don't want to be there, like, if you don't want to be in that interview, and the interviewer says you make corny, like, there's nothing you can do about it, and he wants to stop the interview, just allow the interview to stop at that point.
Yeah, and I
don't stand up trying to fight this person. You're not going to gain anything.
Yeah, and that's what I like about a lot of interviews, is because when the interview goes awry and when the interviewee starts getting salty, I think that's like the funniest. To me, that's like the funniest thing, because I always want to see the outcome of it. I love the drama of it. But I wanted to see if they were really gonna fight, but I don't. They obviously didn't, and obviously things calmed down, and people just hate on Joe Budden a lot. Let's see, who else did he come at? He came at Boat. He came at Boat. He came at Lil Yachty.
I wouldn't really say that he came at Boat, because he said he's not dissing him. The music's just not for him.
Yeah, and Boat went to go talk about it on Twitter. He said, he was surprised that I don't know if you can hear that motorcycle that just rode past, but Boat took to Twitter to talk about how he's not really upset at M. He was like, he respects that he came at his head and he gave an opinion. And so Boat wasn't really tripping about it. I know Tyler just doesn't care.
No, because again, when Tyler had his beef, the small beef with Hobson,
right? Tyler
didn't pay Hobson any mind until I think 2 years ago when he released his Cherry Bomb.
Cherry Bomb.
Yeah, that's when he mentioned Hobson on it, and he's like, I didn't give any attention to Hobson until now. And what happened to Hobson? We don't hear anything from him.
Yeah, and we had talked about this before. Hobson is an interesting character because he's also a good rapper. He'd gotten his start from doing like the Ill Mind of Hobsons and doing a lot of song. And I've talked about this before. He would be such a better artist if he would just
stop
if he would just stop if he would just stop being so mad at people,
Yeah.
And so I think if he just made his own music, the music that he wants, and don't be it that he is making the music that he wants, even though it is just talking shit about every other rapper, if he just made music that he wanted to with his feelings and his words, then he would be such a better artist. But he's choosing not to, primarily for the fact that that's his little niche,
He attacks people. Yeah,
he attacks people. That's what he's good at.
He attacked his baby mama in one of his ill minds. And that's a personal problem. I don't think he should bring his personal problems
into
his music.
Yeah.
Like how he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be going off saying all this crazy stuff. That's your own personal problem. If you want to write a song about how you feel, that's cool. Right. But don't I can't believe don't Eminem it like what he did with
Kim.
Kim, yeah.
Kim, yeah. And I just think it's funny because it's like when M first came out, he was probably the most controversial rapper. The things that he said, he was dropping, homosexual slurs. He wasn't necessarily racist, but he was just outrageous. And people talk about oh, he said this and that. He dropped the F-bomb for and he offended a lot of the homosexual community.
Oh, you're talking about with Kamikaze?
Well, he censored it in that, but before that, in his older music, he threw that word every way he could. And people will talk about that, and they said I saw a tweet yesterday that people were getting on Eminem's head about censoring that word and saying it beforehand, but
if you don't mind me interrupting you really quickly,
go ahead.
I can't stress this enough. Eminem was not calling Tyler that. He said specifically, "You call yourself this."
Mm-hmm.
That was the line. It's like, "You call yourself this." That's it.
Right.
He wasn't saying, "Hey, you're a," or
Yeah. Well, Eminem's definitely come a long way from being, claimed homophobic, but I don't think he was homophobic. I just think he plays around a lot. I'm sure he.
Yeah.
I mean, he's best friends with Elton John. Elton John was doing an interview, and he said that I'm pretty sure it was Elton John. Yeah, and he said that M got him and his husband 2 cock rings for their wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're really close. So I don't think he's homophobic. I just think people are sensitive.
And people just don't take his jokes the way that he hopes them to.
Yeah, not anymore at least. But the tweet that I saw yesterday was somebody said that they're getting on Eminem's head about saying that word, but when Tyler released I forgot what song it is. I forgot what song he said, but he said he was going to, and I quote, rape a pregnant bitch and tell my friends I had a threesome, and no one really batted an eye at that.
No, but actually, they didn't bat an eye until he was banned from countries.
That's also true. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was like years down the line, and
Right.
that's when Tyler was a teenager, and now he's like in his 20s.
Yeah, he's
late
got to be
20s.
like 25.
Yeah,
So
and I don't know, man. It's, to me, M did what he wanted to, because he released something that he thought was great, and it was just taken poorly. But who knows? Maybe years down the line, people might actually enjoy it.
right. M's gonna do whatever the fuck he wants, regardless of what he is. And he did have every right to come at Tyler. Wait, I don't know if it was Tyler's not the one that mentioned his daughter. Who was it that mentioned his daughter?
There was a number of people. I don't remember.
I'd have to look, but MGK. He came at MGK's head because MGK said that his daughter was fucking hot, and then he wanted to smash her, some shit like that.
Yeah,
and I can see why he came at MGK, because who wouldn't? He's a father, and a lot of his career was
defending Haley.
He's got Mockingbird. He's got a bunch of songs talking about his daughter.
Yeah,
and he had every right to come at MGK like that, and I understand absolutely. And but the thing is, it's like, I didn't even know they had beef. I had no idea they had beef until I just found out about what he said about Haley. And at the same time, neither one of those rappers are really relevant. So I thought that was funny that he really came at his ass too, because MGK. I've been following MGK since, I want to say, since he actually started blowing up. I watched this video of him when he was just in a car rapping with his friend, and he was going in, and I was like, man, this guy's hard. And then when he came out with a few songs, I was like, oh shit, But
I haven't really heard anything about MGK lately, though.
Exactly, and I've talked to some people who listen to him, and they said that a lot of his music now is just kind of like the "I'm rich, fuck you" type mentality, rather than when he was hustling and doing what he had to do and grinding and the real like nitty gritty of shit. Where
I think that's when most rappers fall off too.
Mm-hmm. And that's,
it's like once. Go for it.
No, go ahead.
Like once they get to the point where they are actually making money and they start talking about, I have all this, what do you have, and just shit like that.
Right.
That's the peak. Like, the only exception to that is Tyler, the Creator.
Right.
Because Tyler had even mentioned, like, he doesn't want to talk about his dad anymore, how sad he is. The only thing he has right now is his cars. He just got a home, and he's happy about that. He's happy about it. He's not boasting about it.
Right.
But then again, you also have to look that Tyler's not really making music like he used to. Mm-hmm. He's working on a clothing line. He's just doing all this other stuff. So to him, it's like the music thing's just a side thing for right now. I'm working on something bigger.
Right.
And that's
good.
That's the only reason why Tyler, in my opinion, is the only exception to that.
Right. Tyler's style of clothing, I noticed he has been doing a lot of fashion lately, and that's cool. I think that a lot of artists should get into fashion. Kanye West did it. What stopped him from doing it? He's got a whole line of shit. He's got a whole Yeezy collection of clothes and stuff. And even though like his clothes kind of look like homeless people clothes, I, for one, would definitely buy it if I could. He's got his line of shoes. He's got the Yeezys, which, I like Yeezys, me. But I think a lot of artists should do their own fashion. They should do their own fashion design. And, maybe it's not cut out for everyone, but Tyler can do it. And Tyler makes clothes for like hipster kids who listen to his music. He makes clothes for the people who listen to his music. And that's like direct marketing right there. I think that's awesome. The fact that he's giving what the people want, and the kids eat it up.
Yeah. So, this isn't verbatim, but this is something from Childish Gambino.
Right.
He said the longest it took Kanye West to get into the fashion market was because he was trying to make himself a rapper. That's what he was selling to the world at that point in time. It was like, hey, I'm a rapper. Tyler, the Creator, sells youth. He literally sells youth.
Right.
And what I mean by that is, like, he was telling, like, all the kids when he won the award, like, hey, you can do this too. Like, I was on my grandmother's couch when I released. Anybody can do this. And he was telling all the kids, you need to get up, get off of Twitter, get off of Tumblr, and go out there into the world and do what you want to do.
Right.
And so, because, Tyler was selling that while Kanye West was selling, I'm a rapper, that's the reason why Tyler is more credible in the fashion industry, in my opinion.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah, Kanye West has his Yeezys, he has all this other stuff, but for some time they weren't selling. Tyler's stuff sells out as soon as he announces it.
Well, I think what it is really, it's Kanye's fashion and his clothing line is really more of high fashion. It's his Yeezy collection. When Yeezy season approaches and he releases his own fall collection, like, those are high priced clothes, and not everybody can afford them. Where Tyler, like, he makes clothes for kids in high school, and people. And I like his style, even though I wouldn't wear it personally. I do like how he has like a it gives me like a super bad Atari vibe. Just the clothes, he's got the high waisted light jeans, the shoes and the shirts. And it really gives me a retro vibe from him, and that's what I appreciate the most. Even though I wouldn't personally wear it. Would you wear it?
I would. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I love Tyler's style.
Tyler's style. He's always been kind of interesting with his weird little flat bill hats and his short shorts and everything. And he's just an interesting character. He's really just a wild card because you really never know what's gonna come from his mouth.
No, absolutely. But again, back to the point. Even though Eminem had, gone through his history where he can say that stuff, the controversy that came with it is the reason why, in my opinion, he can't say that today, while Tyler can.
Oh yeah, well, because it's not technically politically correct now. This was the term. People take offense to if you say, penis on Twitter or anything. They'll take offense to that just because they'll be like, that's sexist, But at the same time, with the, LGBT, whatever letters they've added, and I respect the community, and I apologize, but they can say it, they can say it. It's like, a kind of like, in a sense, like the N-word,
Oh, yeah.
They can say it because they're inside. They know what it means, and they're trying to redefine it. And I'm like, cool, that's awesome, But when people and that's why I think Eminem, he censored it when he said it, because he knew people were just going to get on his head about it, and they were going to call him a homophobe again. And the last thing you want to be called in 2018 is a homophobe. Because then you have, everybody and their grandmothers attacking you. But I think overall, Eminem should have just left it alone. I think he should have just left it alone. And
I personally don't think he should have.
You think he should have? You really think he should have left it like that album?
Okay. The hip hop game is changing significantly.
Right.
And what I mean by changing is, like, if there's any beef started, nobody wants to deal with it, and they're not interested in it. Like, look what happened with Pusha T versus Drake. People were like, Pusha T, you went too far. It's like, but that's how the game was when they were getting started,
They're vicious.
Yeah, like, you could say that back then. You could come at someone's family. Well, if you come at someone's family back then,
you have to die.
You would definitely have to die. But it's like, Drake said something. Drake mentioned Pusha T's wife.
Yeah.
And so Pusha T was thinking, hey, this is the rap game. If you mention my fiance or anything like that, or any one of my family members, I have to come at you. And that's what he did.
Yeah.
And when that came out, people were like, oh, you went too far. You shouldn't have said this. You shouldn't have said that. In the early rap game, you could have gotten scot-free away with that, and nobody would have said a damn thing.
Yeah.
And so Eminem, I think in the mindset, he was also thinking of that as well. All these people came at me, so let me, instead of making a diss track, let's make a diss album and
see who responds.
Yeah.
Because at this point, like, who's gonna respond? Joe Budden might say something. Everyone's just kind of laugh it off, but it's like, at the end of the day, he really toasted everybody's head. and nobody's really gonna say anything about it. No one's gonna respond because it's like a lot of the new rap. You know, he came at Lil Xan, Lil Pump. It's like, what are they gonna do? Make some little banger that's gonna say that Eminem is sucks, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh, you suck, dude. Like you're fucking trash, and that's what's gonna happen.
They're gonna call him, and it's just old, and that's it.
Yeah, they're gonna call him old, and that's it. And they're gonna be pissed, and then M's just gonna get more pissed off. And I mean, who knows? He might shoot them all up. But
no, I don't think M would do that.
I hope not. But M is such a wild card. You know, you never know.
Yeah.
Man,
it's just. I personally miss the rap game. Mm-hmm. How it was back then than right now.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, let's take a look at Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Ouch.
He's starting beef with people, and then he's just running all over the country.
That's what he does. Yeah.
It's like that's it. It's like he'll make like these tweets on social media or like post on Instagram, and it's like that's not. I'm an old head. That's not how I grew up. You know, if you say something about someone, you better believe that someone's coming back for you.
Right.
And you shouldn't run. You should just take your beating like a man.
Right.
Just lay down. But now he's running everywhere. And it's like, this is what it's come to. People just doing all these drugs, things like that, promoting it.
Oh, yeah.
And running. That's it.
We'll definitely get into that later. But for right now, I think we're going to go ahead and take a break and get some of these featured artists going.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get some of these songs going. So we're going to go ahead and mute ourselves right now. I'm going to get the songs going. We have a few artists today. A couple close friends of mine. First, we're going to be starting with Paper Cleveland. We're going to be starting with his a song from his new album, Honor Thy Paper. Make sure you go check it out on Spotify. It is in the description. We're also going to be having music from Kiefer Ian, another close friend of mine, and his album Sounds Good. And another close friend of mine, Kasma Howard. We're going to be playing a song from his album, Rollercoasters. You can find it on SoundCloud, also in the description. So we're going to mute ourselves right now, and we're going to get the songs going.
All right.
Figured out all the words to say, but I need to say something. Everything you got, girl, smell like cake. I'ma need to bake something. My time was never really yours to waste. You won't have to pay something. My dreams was really never yours to take. But you gotta chase something. Where will I go when I get back? Where put my clothes when I get back? Is you gon' take my closet and fill it up with knickknacks, and then I won't belong when I get back? I take long puffs of my zigzag. Wonder when I'ma finally get my get back. Hey, tell me why these rich kids be copping zip bags. Really be on shit that make their eyelids tip back. 100 for a trip back, cause money can't buy happiness. Nigga, don't forget that. It's funny how it happens, but it happens in a quick flash. Then it's right back to selling nickels at the kickback. You flip that so you can finally go and get your kicks back. Or hopefully, nigga, go and get your kids back. Whatever your priorities be. And please, you ain't gotta tell no stories to me. Just show these other motherfuckers what your glory's gonna be. Never figured out all the words to say, but I need to say something. Everything you got, girl, smell like cake. I'ma need to bake something. My time was never really yours to waste. You gon' have to pay something. My dreams was really never yours to take. But you gotta chase something. You gotta chase something now. You gotta take something down. You can't just be frontin', acting like this nothing. Got a nigga bucket out. You gotta chase something now. And you gotta take something down. You can't just be frontin', acting like this nothing. Got a nigga bucket out. I gave her kisses full of smoke. A love dose with drugs. I promise I won't go, just let me know what is what. I lost focus on my goal, kick slid in some mud. Caught a contact from my bro, and now I ride with a buzz. Even with contacts on that drove, I can still spot the fuzz. Man, she tell me that she want me, I don't think that she does. Every time my phone ring, I wanna know who it was. Cause people gon' be people, I don't know who to trust. Tell them niggas on your radar, I don't give a fuck. Got a killer for a pop, a family tree full of thugs. Ain't got nothing much to live for, but I'll die for what I love. Just keep money on my phone, couple dollars on my book. Put that money on the phone.
Yeah, I remember when they say you coming home.
Shit, they talk in December, but sometime in the winter we got sinners judging sinners, making sure niggas like me ain't never coming home for dinner.
Where you going when you get back?
Shit, I don't even know if I'ma get back. But we ain't got no time left to chit chat. But I'ma make it up with love when I get back. Okay. Never figured out all the words to say, but I need to say something. Everything you got, girl, smell like cake. I'ma need to bake something. My time was never really yours to waste. You gon' have to pay something. My time was really never yours to take. But you gotta chase something. You gotta chase something now. You gotta take something down. You can't just be frontin', acting like this nothing. Got a nigga bucket out. You gotta chase something now. And you gotta take something down. You can't just be frontin', acting like this nothing. Got a nigga bucket out.
Okay, and we are back.
All right, that was actually great.
That was awesome. I love those fucking songs, dude. Those are probably my favorite songs so far on their guys' album. So this KSI Logan Paul fight.
Oh my god.
God damn, dude, do I hate the internet. I
do too.
I really just hate the internet for everything that it stands for.
From because they did this, they have big shoes to fill now.
Mm-hmm.
Because they brought the youth back to boxing.
Oh, absolutely.
To me, in my opinion, they're bringing boxing back, and if they do it incorrectly with their promotion, how they set up fights, if it's all being done incorrectly, I think this might be the last thing for boxing. Or boxing will become more toxic than it is.
You think boxing is a dying sport?
Yes, I personally do. How many boxers do you know today? And do you often watch boxing?
I mean, I like boxing. My father watches boxing and he watches UFC and boxing. So I kind of grew up watching boxing and stuff. I was really into it. And,
but today, do you watch it yourself? Would you go out of your way to watch it?
Would I? Personally, yes. Do I? No. But,
okay.
I think boxing, and this kind of correlates with like the whole boxing versus UFC thing, and you know, boxing's been around for a long time. Boxing is a more matured sport is the what I'd use, rather than UFC, which isn't that old, even though it's a lot more aggressive. I don't know. I just feel like this whole thing with YouTube and doing the boxing thing, if this becomes more of a common thing, I could see it really taking off, because just humans by nature love the thrill of the fight. Yeah. And so watching people just go at it, whether they suck or not, is always entertaining. And, during the Logan Paul versus KSI fight, you can kind of tell, like, they're not necessarily pro. They are definitely amateur boxers because of their form. A lot of their forms were just kind of, like, sloppy. So they were just throwing really jabs. There were really no hooks or uppercuts, or they were really just kind of hammer fisting. And I feel like if Logan Paul did get a lot more training, if he really did want to become a boxer, then he definitely could. Same thing with KSI, because watching that fight, oh my gosh, I really was upset that he really waited until the last couple rounds, which is a smart move because he wanted to tire Logan out. He waited until the last couple rounds and he just started lighting him the fuck up, dude. He really just started lighting him up.
From what he said, and I agree with what KSI was saying, he wanted to see what Logan Paul could do in the first two.
Right.
That's why he came back with the last 4.
Right.
And he definitely should have won that, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Logan Paul, like, the only thing he had over him really was that reach, and he's got long fucking arms. He's got long arms, so he kept holding him back. He kept keeping him at bay, because if he were to let him in, he knew he was going to get rocked, and he did. Later in the rounds, Logan did get rocked a few times. I'm not going to lie. I felt it. Like, when he was lighting him up towards the end, I could tell he wanted to drop, but then, of course, the round ends, and they give it to the decision.
Yeah. But what I mean by because I need to clear myself up, what I mean by if they do it incorrectly, like how they go with promotion and how they choose fight, boxing thing is in the middle of the match, I forget which person it was, but he was doing Fortnite dances in the ring.
Oh my god, yeah, I saw that.
And that really irritated me.
That's just a disrespect. That's just like a blow to boxing just in general. You can't just disrespect the sport like that. That's just not taking it serious.
And so when I see that, because like when Logan Paul was taunting KSI, he was actually like, come on, man, is this all you got? But if you're going to start doing Fortnite dances because it's popular in the middle of it, just don't box then.
It's all for the views and for the memes, dude. That's all it is. It's for the memes and for the views. That's why YouTube wanted to do it. YouTube knew that this was going to blow up, and it knew it was going to bring in the money that it did, because it raised what? I wouldn't say raised, because I feel like that's a charity event. It brought in what, like 100 and something million?
Oh yeah.
Just from the $5 people paid to watch a Fortnite dance. Like, they really did goof people. But that's how business is. That's the same. It's the same thing when you buy pay-per-view for a fight. When they did the who is it? Who did Manny Pacquiao fight? Was it Mayweather?
Yes.
And when people paid for that fight and Mayweather just stomped Pacquiao real fast, people were pissed because they paid X amount of money to watch this dude get stomped. Okay, people are mad.
Well, I know like a lot of people were pissed about Mayweather versus who was it? Conor McGregor.
Oh my lord! Don't even get me started on that.
But to me, that was a bridge, and that actually ups the ante. Like when Conor McGregor said that boxing is like a whole different sport to him entirely. I respected that, because in UFC you can do all kinds of different movesets. You got taijutsu, jiu-jitsu, all that other stuff.
Right.
But you can't use that in boxing.
No.
And so I don't know if he tired himself out. I don't really remember the version of like what Conor McGregor said, but he definitely saw that. Well, that's a different field and a different ballpark.
The way I see it is, okay, so with Conor McGregor in being a mixed martial artist and being in the UFC, his body is trained to go in there and knock them out as fast as they can by any means. Like, he's meant to have quick fights. That's why he's the champion, dude. He just beats people up,
Yeah.
But the thing about boxing is a chess game. Really, it's a game of endurance. It's a mindset game, and that's where Mayweather had the advantage there. He had been boxing for X amount of years. He's like, what, 50 now or something. He's old. He's undefeated. Like, he's been doing this for a long time. Yeah. And so he has that mindset where he knew that McGregor wasn't going to be able to keep up. And even though they did they went all the rounds, I think they did do the distance, but McGregor he said he was tired after like the second round. It's because it's a slower paced fight. You know, you got to keep moving. You're moving your body. It's a slower paced fight. It's not meant to go the distance in the UFC. Sometimes it does, and those guys are insane. The fights in the UFC that go the distance, dude, that's insane because like they're like 3-minute rounds, you know. But 3 minutes in a fight just seems like you just lived your entire lifetime in 3 minutes. It's outrageous how long 3 minutes seems like in a fight. But
and two notable people I'm definitely appreciative is number one, Scares, who lost 100 pounds in 6 months.
Right.
And he was taking those punches like a champ. As well as Comedy Shorts Gamer, because Jake Paul was saying that he's going to knock him out in the first round. And it was either the first or the second round. Comedy Shorts made Jake's face bleed.
Right.
And that's the only thing I've seen after the fight about Paul. Was just that picture.
Right.
And those are just seeing that to me, it was just really impressive. It's like people didn't think that they had the shot to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they came through and just did it, you know?
And it's just funny to think like these big YouTube, you know, stars, I guess, the moguls, whatever, icons. I think that off cam, I feel like they probably are in collaboration. If they don't really like each other, then cool. There's nothing wrong with a little beef in the business. But I feel like it's a whole just big plan thing, and I really hope it's not because I really do love boxing. But
it has to be. I wouldn't say it has to be because the facial reaction from KSI and Logan Paul, because they both mentioned it in their videos, was like they did not expect a draw. There's another fight coming up soon, but that was already in the contract.
Yeah.
So that was before any of this had started. So I think that they were actually out there throwing punches and literally fighting each other.
Right. I think it's more of just a thing where they're amateur boxers, so after watching professional boxing so long, you see how hard these motherfuckers hit, dude. You see that they hit with the force of, you know, God, dude. They'll really take your jaw off. And then you see these amateur boxers come in, and they're kind of throwing, you know, wimpy punches. Be it that they probably still do hurt to an extent, but they're nowhere near these professional boxers who literally train to have their bodies punched like repeatedly. You know, they're trained to take these massive hits, you know, where they're getting hit by boulders. Whereas these amateur boxers, they're kind of just like street fighting, you know? Because, like I was saying earlier, their form, you know, they have the footwork. Don't get me wrong. They have the footwork kind of down. They weren't dancing around too much. They were really just kind of jabbing and jabbing and jabbing. And they were just kind of weak jabs. They were just like there were no hooks. There was no actual punching. Like, there was nothing that was really connecting that was a game changer. Except KSI in the later rounds. He got a few hits in that got the crowd riled up.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. At the end of Deji's and Jake Paul's match, I was a little irritated that he called out Chris Brown and then launched a merch line.
Who did?
Jake Paul did. Of
course.
It's like, I get it. That's how you make your money is through merch. But I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that's how you have to do it. Sometimes you just got to make it through merch. If you're just, like, for example, PewDiePie does that too. Like, all of PewDiePie's videos get demonetized now. And he literally makes his, I mean, like, sure, he's probably got enough money to just quit YouTube and live the rest of his life the way he wants to. But he doesn't because he still likes making videos. I know he does. He has a passion for it. That's why he shitposts so much, because they demonetize him. But his merch line, and he's been getting more creative and more streetwear with his merch line rather than just a bunch of T-shirts with his little PewDiePie fist on it. And back when he first started, he's getting a lot more in depth with his stuff. And so his merch is always going to sell. His videos are always going to still get views. And people who hold their place on YouTube are always going to have that place. Well, that's not necessarily true. There's some people whose careers have definitely gone away. And so, but rest in peace them. But I just feel like, I think I mean, if somebody were to just start a channel, I mean, YouTube could probably do it where they start a channel for celebrity boxing. I think it would take off because you don't really see that.
That's true.
You know, the closest thing we had to that was MTV's Celebrity Deathmatch, and that was just claymation, you know?
Yeah.
And that stuff slapped. So, I think if somebody just made a channel, or if somebody had the funding to just make a boxing channel where celebrities fight, I think it would definitely take off, and it'd be just as popular as it would regular boxing. So,
who knows? If someone wants to do, so definitely blow up.
Yeah. But it's YouTube. YouTube's constantly changing. When YouTube first came, when YouTube first came out when I was younger, I remember people were just. Originally it was just a bunch of like animated videos. They have with that Candy Mountain, the horse, the Candy Mountain, and then they have the Charlie Bit My Finger. It was just a bunch of memes. YouTube was definitely a lot simpler then, a lot more calm then. There wasn't as much drama. It was just people posting what they wanted to post.
I think back then YouTube was the Wild West, because you had people like Keemstar.
Man,
what Keemstar is known for,
being a dickhead.
Yeah, but he did after the whole Alex phase.
Oh yeah,
and he's been trying to put that behind him. And I'm not disrespecting Keemstar. I would say that he's definitely come a long way from then.
Well, when you do something like that, when you drop the N-bomb that much because you're so angry, like there's almost no coming back from that. People are always going to be like, hey, like you said that same thing with like PewDiePie. PewDiePie did the same thing on his stream, and it's like, oh my gosh, it's like what comes to that point? Like, how do they get to that point?
I don't know. I'll never know.
I think it's that toxic gaming community.
Oh, okay. Well, then I do know.
1000%. It's and we experience it firsthand playing Rainbow Six or pub or anything. And I myself, I get mad, but I try to refrain as much as I can.
Yeah.
But Keemstar is an interesting character too, because he makes his living off talking about other people's drama.
Yeah, definitely.
And people want to hear that. People are nosy. And nosy people will always come to the drama. They're like, oh, what's going on here? There's, this and that. Like, how about fuck off,
To me, Keemstar is like, he is the TMZ of YouTube.
Oh my god, thank you. Somebody said it. Thank you. Somebody said it. And I hate TMZ. Like, I personally hate TMZ because they're such shit. They are like, oh my god, they're like the original BuzzFeed. They just shit post about celebrities doing stupid shit. It's like, oh, Mariah Carey was caught eating a donut. Is she getting fat? No, she's eating a fucking donut. Let her be, Or if they were to catch someone leaving a sex store, it's like, so what if they want to get the new butt plug finger 5000? Who cares,
They're people too,
Yeah, they're people too. Let them do that. So it's crazy how with celebrities and stuff they just become. In my opinion, when you become a celebrity, you're not human anymore. You're definitely you've definitely given up your human traits when you become someone famous or celebrity, because people then idolize you. They make you as an icon. And if you're an artist, people who meet you, they're like, oh, can you do the song for me? Can you perform for me? They want you to do what you're known for. And people who do stuff like that for a living, people who make music or actors, like, that's not what they want to talk about all the time. Well, maybe some of them are, but that's not really what they want to talk about all the time, because it's what they do 24/7.
Yeah, because like you and I, we were having a conversation like, do streamers actually about the games that they play?
Yes.
I personally don't think so.
No, like,
unless they're talking about the people that they stream with.
Right. Like, for example, like Shroud or Ninja, like, those guys spend so much of their day playing Fortnite, which is, not my choice of game. I don't really like Fortnite, but and they make their living off of it. And be it that Ninja probably makes a hell of a living playing Fortnite. But it's like, that's what he does consistently. So when he's not streaming, it probably is annoying when people come and talk to him, or they see him out in public. They're like, hey, can you do a Fortnite dance for me? Or, this and that. They want to talk about Fortnite. He doesn't fucking want to talk about Fortnite. He wants to live his life, dude. To my understanding, he has a wife and a kid on the way. Like, he wants to live his life, not talk about the same shit.
Another thing coming from the gaming aspect, when the streamer broke up with his girlfriend. It's like, okay, this guy makes X amount of money, but he's not really paying much attention to this person. I don't really know what was going on in the relationship. Maybe he was paying attention, maybe he wasn't. But maybe he came down to the conclusion saying, hey, there's someone better out there for you where they can give you the attention that you need.
Right.
And that you deserve.
Well,
so I'm going to stick to my career, you can stick to yours, and trying to find that person.
Well, yeah, and the reason he'd probably get so much backlash about it, he's really getting backlash from the female community, which in a sense they do have a right, but it's like you have to understand that like if he wants something for the better for himself and he feels like he's not getting with that person, let them be happy, you know?
Yeah.
Females, they get all the time, you know, when a female cheats on a man or they want to leave, that's because they deserve better. But you know, when a man wants to leave or anything, they're pieces of shit, and it's like double standards really suck ass. Logic did the same thing actually. You know, there was a thing where Logic wanted to divorce his wife that he'd been with because he wanted to be single. He wanted to be happy. It's in a sense, money does change people, but it's like if you're trying to live your best life and you feel like you're not living your best life because something's holding you down, cut it off
immediately.
Cut it off immediately.
The same thing like Ninja announced that.
Ninja announced the one you cut off.
Ninja was not going to stream with female gamers.
Right. And what was his reasoning behind that?
He just said that was his decision, pretty much. And it's for his wife and for him.
Right.
And people were like, well, if you can't handle yourself around another female, it's not about that. That's his decision, that's his decision. Let the man do what he wants to do.
Right.
He's not trying to cut off an entire community. Other people stream.
Right.
If you're getting mad because Ninja, who is literally the top streamer right now,
right,
just doesn't want to have to deal with that situation, doesn't want any memes or any gossip or any talking about, because people nowadays, if they hear something, they don't care what the actual person has to say, they're just going to run with it.
Oh, yeah, dude.
So if he wants to just get rid of that entirely, let the man do what he wants to do.
Yeah, and, you know, the thing about streaming is such an interesting, a delicate, like, thing, because I feel like the only way that you can make it is, and I am a streamer myself, and I have my own streaming channel, you know, but the way that you really make it as a streamer, if you're going to make it big, you either play what everybody else is playing and you get good at it to the point where everybody wants to watch you and you have like a semi-goofy personality. Everyone likes semi-goofiness, you know. He's not like a comedian. He makes, you know, simple comments here and there, but he's not like a comedian. But the thing about it with Twitch and streaming and male versus female streaming is that by default, because us males as a gender are thirsty, and I will not hold us, we are thirsty, you know, people, we are going to look at a female streamer before we look at a male if we see one first. And the thing about female streamers is that they're smart, so they know. So, you know, they'll dress how they want to dress, and if they want to, you know, show something off, they will. And it's not because they're looking for views. It's because they know that that's what will get some people there. It's like an attention grabber when you're writing an essay. And then they really get to know that person. And then once they get to know that female streamer, the whole sexualized thing kind of goes away. Unless you're just a pervert, then it doesn't. But with male streamers, it's like you have to be real good. And I'm just not saying girl streamers can't be really good, because there are a lot of female streamers who are good at every game. You know, I think that it's equal opportunity. Females can be just as good as games as fucking dudes are. You know, I get stomped by people all the time, and who knows if they're female. But with male streamers, it's like they don't really have that option. I mean, like, sure, there are, you know, the female base on Twitch is probably high as well, and they probably look for attractive guys on there. But it's not really about the sex appeal on Twitch, unless, you know, it's really about, are you fucking good? You know, are you good at the game, or are you bringing a good entertainment?
Absolutely.
And
because we got Soda Poppin', who brought great entertainment to it, you know. And everything that had happened to him, where people were hacking his WoW account, that's entertainment that people want to see.
Right.
And because of that, he blew up.
Right.
Then you have people like, God, I cannot remember her name. But her Twitch account was banned because of how she treated her cat on stream.
Oh, yikes. They really went that far?
It did, in my opinion. You shouldn't have treated a cat like that, but she said that that's how she punishes her cat.
What did she do?
And she was just holding it down in a weird way.
Right.
That made a lot of people feel very uncomfortable. And so because of that, she lost her account. I'm not sure she got back. I'm not sure what happened after that. but because of those actions, she lost it. And so that wasn't entertaining for anybody.
She lost her whole account. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But
yeah,
and it's crazy how strict they can be on there, you know? Because it's like
also,
you can lose your channel so fast. Go ahead though. Go ahead.
Also, the entertainment thing. Since our topics of Logan Paul and KSI, when Logan Paul joined Twitch, people thought that he's gonna be the biggest streamer. He's gonna take over. But that was just for that one day. I've never seen Logan Paul's channel on Twitch again since, because I guess you realize that making videos where you can edit everything and doing everything real time is two separate entities.
Right.
And so people realize that he's not entertaining live.
Okay.
Just only entertaining for his videos. So that's another thing that you have to throw into the ring. If you don't have a great personality when doing things live and in front of people, I'm not going to say don't stream. You do whatever you want to. You can give it a shot, but it's going to be harder for you.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing that I struggled with when I started streaming, is I needed to find my niche. I consider myself a pretty outgoing person, so talking in front of people doesn't really bother me. But it's like you have to find what you want to play, And at first when I started streaming, I was playing a bunch of just older. Well, I started playing what everyone else was playing at first, and then I started streaming older games, and you realize that some people like that. That's where I really found my niche. And now I'll stream whatever here and there, and I've really been slacking on it. I mean to get on it, but streaming is not for everybody. And people just have to understand that. Like, even though it's popular, it's not for everybody. But at the same time, anybody can do it.
Yeah. I also stream from time to time, not as often as you do.
Right.
But when I was streaming, like I'm not good at games. I will be open.
I feel
and
that.
Honest with that.
I feel that.
But in my channel, it's become like, I won't say a meme, but it's known that I die a lot, so people have death counters for me. Like, how many times do I die in the game?
Yeah.
And that's what people come to see. It's like, how will I fuck up in this aspect? And that's entertaining to them.
Well, yeah, it's because if you're not good, at least you're having fun, and people enjoy that. And, at least you're having fun. At least you're not getting like necessarily salty at it. You're not having a bad attitude. As long as you keep a positive attitude, people are like, this guy's kind of cool. And that's what I try to do on stream. But it's like some games I just get really mad at, and I don't want to. That's why I don't stream some games. It's because they make me so angry where I get salty, and I don't want it to come to that. Yeah. So that's why I did resort to playing older games. I played Paper Mario. I played what else? I started playing Pokemon. I played through like the first 2 generations of Pokemon, and even though that game is fucking frustrating because it's at 1 minute you're over leveled, the next minute you're super under leveled, and you start getting shit on by Surf. Well,
yeah,
it's like I said, streaming is not for everyone, but anyone can do it. You just need to find what you're good at.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
I think this is the time to take a break now. We're going to actually play the next 3 songs from the same artist. If you don't forget, it's Paper Cleveland with his EP, Honor Thy Paper. We have Kiefer Ian with his EP, Sounds Good. And we have Kasma Howard with his album, Rollercoasters. You can find them all in the description. I linked them all. And go check them out. Show them some love. We're going to mute ourselves now. I'm going to play some music.
Can't get enough. Maybe it's love, maybe it's love. It's all the above. Show me what's up, show me what's up. Got a bae in Texas, she sending me Texas. I get the message, no more flexing, we planning progression. Romantic confessions, style on them, yeah. Wild on them, yeah. Thigh on me, yeah. She follow me, yeah. Swallow me, yeah. She proud of me, yeah. Get solid salary, yeah. She a snack, she delicious. Love immaculate women. I'm just macking them pimping. Yeah, love. I'm in motion. My pimp is so impulsive. I call her nasty bitches when I'm fucking, I'm insulting. They tryna catch the wave, I'm away, I'm just coasting. Sign your name on dotted lines, read disclaimers and disclosures. She taught me while I'm popping, only option for the culture. Hang with nothing but the vultures, get hit with the love potion. What's your purpose, what's your motive? Hang with nothing but the vultures, get hit with the love potion. I can't pull up tonight. At the right time, at the right place. Make it right, babe, for the night, babe. Only the night, babe, is we can't get no what. I can't get enough. Maybe it's lust, maybe it's love. It's all the above. Show me what's up, show me what's up. I can't pull up tonight. At the right time, at the right place. Make it right, babe, for the night, babe. Only the night, babe, is we can't get no what. I can't get enough. Maybe it's lust, maybe it's love. It's all the above. Show me what's up, show me what's up.
Tiny dancer, grab the wheel, we bout to go to space. I might need answers, have a feeling you gon' float away. A few blue hundreds in my pocket, I might throw away. Cause you my soul legit, see 50-50 solar skate. This a 50-50 solar skate. Don't let this rocket fuel just go to waste. Give me all the love, I'll hold the weight. And you gon' have my back, 50-50 solar skate. I'm a rocket man on a trip and I got a couple pocket bands. And I can't call me contraband, you a bad decision, I'm an honest man. Fuck it, girl, let's fly away. I like the spark and fire flames. I'm ready for action, I'm ready for war and the fight, I ain't playing no games. Hop in a rocket ship, I'ma get it poppin', now you know how I'm rockin', bitch. Bullet train on, we gon' pull away. Only option and there ain't no stopping it. Tell me, baby, what's the goal today? Never let a second go to waste. You like a mystery, color me interested, baby, go ahead and just pull the paint. This is the new reform, so designing up the heart in its truest form. This is hope we make it through the storm. You and me, a lot of leniency. On the top is where I scheme to be. On top of you is what I'm fiending to please. You and me is what I need to see. You floating away on the breeze, and this a must see. Fuck me, cause I fuck you. Ain't nothing mad about moments in time. I'm out of my mind, I bust through. And trust in my process, my love, how I trust you. These are the times of our lives, do what we must do. Tiny dancer, grab the wheel, we bout to go to space. I might need answers, have a feeling you gon' float away. A few blue hundreds in my pockets, I might throw away. Cause you my soul legit, 50-50 solar skate. This a 50-50 solar skate. Don't let this rocket fuel just go to waste. Give me all the love, I'll hold the weight. Cause you my soul legit, 50-50 solar skate. I am the rock in the roof, I am the sun in the sky. Don't ever worry, my love, put that shit out of your mind. These days we need change, this shit gon' change my life. Each day I freeze frame and need away my time. Said I am the rock in the roof, I am the sun in the sky. Said don't ever worry, my love, put that shit out of your mind. These days we need change, this shit gon' change my life. Each day I freeze frame and need away my time.
Bitch, you always wanna keep an attitude with a nigga, you could just stay home. And bitch, you wanna lie, say you love a little nigga, little bitch, you can hold that phone. I'ma be a guy till they bury me alive, so please get off my throne. I still ride, don't creep, don't ride too deep, just use that chrome. I still buy swishers, we still cheap, keep straight out the phone. I still buy real cheap, but swear my money getting low. When midnight, get some dark and some good weed, I'm in my zone. So don't come around my spot with that hot shit, switch up your tone. Now the bitch wanna walk. Now the bitch wanna walk. Yeah, shit, boy. The bitch wanna walk and shit, you know what I'm saying? But you know how a bitch talk. How a bitch talk. Yeah, boy. Bitch be running the mouth and shit. Talking shit. So watch your step, watch your step. Watch your step, watch your step. Don't hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. Yeah, watch your step, watch your step, watch your step, watch your step. Don't hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. Yeah, boy. What up, fam? Just chillin' like the villain that I am. Hear me, I don't really give a damn. Sitting on the ceiling, little nigga, yeah I am. What up, fam? Fuck around, we'll put you in the sand. Fuck around with Key and your mans. Ain't got no time, don't waste my plans. I got one God in her name Jan. Don't need no help, don't hold my hand. It's got me stuck, I smoke the jam. This shit here loud, hold by the boom, bitch, by the bam. I got the room, bitch, in that good shit by the gram. I'm cool as fuck, bitch, that's why all these hoes my fan. Fan, fan, fan. I'm cool as fuck, bitch, that's why all these hoes my fan. Fan, fan, fan. I'm cool as fuck, bitch, that's why all these hoes my fan. Now the bitch wanna walk, bitch wanna walk. Yeah, boy. You know how a bitch talk, how a bitch talk. So watch your step, watch your step, watch your step, watch your step. Don't hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. Yeah, boy, watch your step, watch your step, watch your step, watch your step. Don't hold your breath, hold your breath, hold your breath. Yeah, boy.
All right, welcome back. We're gonna be finishing up here with our last topic for the day, a little bit more serious one. The topic of addiction and how we feel about that.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, this is not a light topic. This is a very controversial topic that I see over and over and over and over and over again on Twitter. Primarily on Twitter because that's usually what I'm on. But man, there are so many different opinions people have on Twitter about addiction, and
Yeah.
it's a very sensitive topic, so we have to try not to offend anyone. Just kidding, I don't fucking care.
The reason why I chose this topic, though, is because that's something that you and I both know.
Mm-hmm.
I personally struggled with.
Right.
And I'm not afraid to admit it, but my addiction was drinking. You know, I drank every day. Last year was a nightmare because I would wake up around like 7, drink till a certain place that I like to visit. Opened up. That was at noon. Drink from noon till 3 a.m. and that's all I did every day.
It's crazy because it's like, you know, people say that. When people say addiction is a disease, I strongly disagree with that. Personally, I strongly disagree with that. I don't think it's a disease. Mental illness, I'll give that. I'll give it as a mental illness, but not a disease. And people argue it's like, oh, you know, babies can be born with it, so it could be hereditary. It's like, no, they're born with it because the parent was doing that. And
it's to me. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
But to me, I agree with you. It's not. It's a mental thing because if you're afraid of losing something and like it's gone. But if you have like an addiction, like with alcohol, cigarettes, that's not going anywhere.
Right.
So you get in your mind state that, okay, I have this. This is not changing. As for everything else, that's gonna change. But once you come to the realization that, you know, things do change, you know, everything's gonna change in life, then I feel like you can break that addiction through that. As long and with some strong help, because you've helped me with it.
Right.
DJ's helped me with that. You know, a lot of our core group has helped me with that. And once I was able to see past that and get past that, it's just been a breeze.
Yeah, I feel like, and I try to tell people this, it's like addiction is very much a mental game than it is a physical. You know, the drugs, the alcohol, they do take a toll on your body because your body did become dependent on them. But the thing is, your body recovers. Your body's meant to recover. Your body, the way it is made up, is meant to recover. Your body can recover from it. Sure, it might not recover fully, but it can recover, you know? Mm-hmm. But it's about wanting to give it up, you know? And, you know, we had this talk about, you know, alcohol and how what it was doing to you and how it was pretty much killing you, literally, you know? And it sucks because, you know, a lot of people die to addiction, and it's either because they don't have any kind of support system, which I think everybody should have some sort of a support system. You know, my mother dealt with addiction too when I was younger, and I hold her highly because she got through it herself. She tried rehabilitation, and that's really just to get your money. She weaned herself, and it was a struggle because she had to do so much, and you know her body went through so much, but she got herself off all the drugs, and she's a fucking strong woman for that one. And you know, I dealt with some stuff in high school where, you know, I was doing pills and some stuff like that, and I was really just doing them every day. But it came to the point where the thing about me is I don't have an addictive personality, and that's really what factors in, is if you have an addictive personality. I know a lot of people who do. I was able to get myself off that as soon as I saw that it was fucking my body up. As soon as I saw that it was just tearing me apart, I stopped. And for some people, it's not that easy, you know? Not everybody can just quit cold turkey and be okay. But at the same time, you can quit cold turkey and be okay. It's just about your willpower.
It's the willpower and the mindset. And like you said as well, the support group. I don't think that I would have made it I think, what is this, 2 months now sober?
Yes.
I don't think I would have made it this far if I didn't have you guys. Because you guys kept saying, you know, you don't need it. You know, you want it, but you don't need it.
Right.
And mentally, that was messing me up. And because, like, I drank for 5 years straight, like how I mentioned earlier. And with me being drunk all the time, I was able to go out and do things that I would not normally do on a daily basis. Like, when we went to the fair and we got on the Ferris wheel. Scariest time of my life. Because I hate heights. And whenever I get on a plane, before, it's like, okay, I hate heights. What can I do to soothe my pain, you know, soothe my ease? Drink. Can't do anything else, but you know what? God damn it, they sell you drinks on there, and sometimes a pilot would say drinks are on his tab, and you can just drink to your heart's content.
Yep.
And so, go for it.
No, go ahead. Finish up what you're saying.
So that's enabling you even more. You know, like when I told you that I want to stop drinking, you made sure that everybody in the house said, you know, did not offer me anything, no drinking around me, no nothing. And that helped. And people need a support group like the one that I had.
Right. And the thing about that is, and the reason I went about it that way and to do that is because it's like, you never know who's an enabler, you know? You never know until you get alone with said addict, and you'll never know who's an enabler until then. And so, yeah, in the household, I did let it know. I let it be known that you are not to be drinking. And it's not me being a dickhead or trying to be a parent. It's just, this is a serious issue, you know? Yeah. And when it comes to addiction, like you said, addiction is really more, when it gets to the point where you are addicted to something, it's not that you need it to survive. You don't. Your body has just trained you to want it more. You trained yourself to need it. But everything is just a want. The only thing you really need in life is oxygen, water, and food.
Yeah.
Clothes on your back, you know? You don't need drugs. And I think the drug epidemic is so big with our generation because, you know, everybody's depressed and everyone wants to turn to drugs. But depression we'll get on in another podcast. But people, they use drugs as a way to escape what they're going through. And that causes the addiction because then they become so numb and they're like, oh, you know, this makes me happy. I'm going to keep doing it. And they keep doing it. And then, you know, sooner or later, that's the only thing that makes them happy, you know?
Yeah.
Because people are like, yo, you can't get addicted to marijuana. Yes, you can. Anything's addicted. You can get addicted to sniffing pillows. You know, you've seen the show My Strange Addiction. You can get addicted to eating butt. Like, you can get addicted to whatever. It's about your mentality.
What I hate when people say that you can't get addicted to marijuana is, if you train yourself constantly that, hey, I'm stressed out, let me smoke. Every time you get stressed out, you're gonna want to smoke.
Right.
And you're gonna want to escape the stress that you have. So yes, you can get addicted to marijuana. It's like people say video games is an addiction.
Oh yeah.
It's an addiction too. If you're stressed, if you want to escape the real world and you just open up a game like Siege, Fortnite, things like that, that's your addiction.
Yeah.
Is gaming bad? No, I don't think so. I would rather people do things in games rather than out in the real world.
Right, you know. And that's why I really took to gaming when I was younger. It's because it's like when I was in like middle school and I was in high school, like yeah, sure, like I was a gamer, but during my high school and middle school years, I was really hanging out with a bunch of friends doing a bunch of stupid shit. And I wish I hadn't have done that because it really kind of fucked me over in the long run with getting through high school and, you know, having gotten expelled, but I still graduated, you know, it took me a bit though. And it sucks because it's like every day I wish that, you know, maybe if I knew what I knew now and I could go back to school, I definitely would have changed things up. I would have just done the homework because the homework's easy. Writing papers, easy. Doing math problems, easy. But when you get out of high school, even college, when you're in college, it's the same shit. But once you get out of school and you're out here and they throw you in the pool, you're fucked. If you don't know what you're doing. If you don't have an understanding of how the real world works, you're fucked.
And I cannot, like what you said, that stuff's all easy. But some people just don't realize it.
Well, yeah, it's because of the way that we're raised, and it's also the way that they teach our teachers, because they tell our teachers like, oh, if you don't do this, you know, in college, you're gonna be fucked. No, you know, you see a bunch of pictures all the time. College professors don't give a fuck. College professors are like the realest people out there. They're more in tune to the real world than teachers are at high school or in middle school or whatever. That's why they teach. That's why college is such a life-changing thing. It's like high school is just like the free trial of education. You know, it's like the tutorial, and then you get to college and it's the real deal.
College is a place for you to learn who you are really.
Mm-hmm. It's to prepare you, and sometimes you don't get prepared for the real world, but others do.
Yeah. And I know college is a time where people do pick up a lot of things like drinking and smoking.
Mm-hmm.
And to those people, I have to tell you, it's not worth getting an addiction. I mean, you can drink, you can smoke, you can party and all that, but don't use that like a crutch, you know?
Yeah.
Just wake your ass up, go to class, graduate.
Right.
Because you might not be paying for all this, or because your parents might be, or you might have student loans out, and it's not worth fucking up your entire life because you just didn't wake up to go to class.
Yeah.
Or from a personal aspect, somebody that I know went to a party their first freshman week, and their pictures posted online, and
you cut out.
It's not this person that I know went to a party her first freshman week, and their pictures posted online, and she lost her internship. It's not worth it doing that just because you want to go out and have fun.
Yeah, dude, that's the thing about college and getting internships is like you have to watch what you're doing because they are watching you. They are. It's when they bring you on, and that's why like I think college is such an interesting place because it's like they're watching you. You know, if you're standing out, they're watching you, and because they want you. You know, you go to college to become a harder working than everyone else, and you know I have my views on college where I feel like it's not a necessity, but if you can go. But if you can't, do something else. Don't just be working a 9-to-5 job for the rest of your life at fucking Kroger or Dunkin' Donuts. Like, and I take this from Gary Vaynerchuk because he talked about it. He said, you know, get you a job that pays you the most to do the least.
Mm-hmm.
You know, work like a little 9-to-5, and then when you come home, work on your dreams or work on your business or work on your craft from like 5 to like 3 a.m. and then go to sleep. And if you can train your body to survive off that, you know, 5 hours of sleep, you will get to where you need to go. Use your 9-to-5 to fund your dreams, you know?
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't understand that.
Adding on to that, do not get a career that just pays the most so you can be miserable for the rest of your life. Because a lot of the things that companies will sell you, you don't really need.
Right.
Like Snapchat. I like the way that it records the videos, and I use that a lot. So I bought that. That's mine. I use it a lot. But things like my Xbox, I don't play it because I'm on PC.
Right.
And so, you know, I sold my Xbox. Like small things that you see that you know that you're not going to use every day or a lot of the time, just don't buy.
Yeah.
And if you have that kind of mentality, then you will realize that you don't need what people are posting on social media. You don't need that, what is it, an Audi. You don't need like diamonds in your teeth, jewelry,
that
and all that
Gucci
other stuff.
belt, you know?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Well, I feel like we live in a very materialistic generation, and I think that we were set up by our previous generation because, you know, our parents are like, yo, go and make money, do this, do that, get your money, and buy nice things. But the thing is, the definition of nice things has now transitioned from wanting a house, you know, wanting a nice car, wanting a family, to now people want these clothes, they want jewelry, they want, you know, this and that, you know, and music doesn't really help with that either because that's all they're flaunting on their music. And that, you know, that's been going on in hip hop for a while, but it's really reached its peak right now. And you know, I've seen a couple artists where it's like millennials, I guess millennials or whatever, they're not really worried about buying a house or, you know, starting a family because they're too busy trying to survive off of the wages that we have. But we don't need to go into the economy. That'll be for a different time as well. But back to the topic at hand, addiction. Addiction, I feel like it is very much manageable. And if you are struggling, do indeed get some help. Because struggling through addiction alone, it sucks. And if you feel like you cannot do it, it's just going to lead to worse problems. So get help, whether it is rehabilitation or find a support group that'll help you out, because that'll definitely help.
If you go through the rehabilitation, a support group is 110% necessary, because if you get out of rehab and you go back to people that you thought were your friends and all they still want to do is just drink and party, and even though you tell them, hey, I don't do this, the thing that they might or most likely will do is say, oh, it's just one drink, or oh, you know, I'm only going to be out for X amount of that's going to turn into more time out and more drinks.
Right.
So that's all I have to say on that matter.
That's totally accurate. I do have a friend who just recently got through NA, and he was really going through it when he was around, and you know, he moved away and he did go through NA, and he's a lot better now. But when a couple of my friends contacted him and asked him if he wanted to hang out, he turned them down because he said he can't be around the stuff that they do, you know, because you know they'll smoke and they'll drink and everything. And I don't think that all of them are enablers, but there's always one that is. And you really don't know who it is until that person's around them. And that person will say something. The addict, and I use that in quotes, the addict, because I don't know, that seemed like that's just a very straightforward term, will preach about who's the enabler. And either they will tell them to fuck off, or they'll keep it a secret and they'll go with it because they want that high again. You know, they want to do what they want to do again.
And then they're hiding it from you, and they're not getting better.
Exactly. But fortunately enough, my friend's not like that. You know, he's doing a lot better now. He's getting his life together. He's really changing. And although it could have been done a lot sooner, you know, everything happens for a reason. Everyone's destiny is different. So, you know, he got through it, and I'm proud of him. And if he ever does see this, I hope he knows who I'm talking to. But addiction is it's a crazy thing because it's come so far. You know, people rely on so many things, and Xanax has really been that what really makes me mad, because I hate Xanax. I personally just hate Xanax so much because it's not. I've done Xanax before. It's not fun. It really is not fun. It turns you into a zombie. So I don't understand why people have this craze over it. Like it's like this miracle drug because it makes you happy. No, it turns you into a zombie. It numbs you. It doesn't fix your actual problems.
Speaking of that, like you hate Xans. I am scared to drink that. I am personally terrified to drink. Like if you and I go out and I have like a little sip of something, I'm afraid of what that it might actually turn to. So that sip that's just like the right point. Right. But to the youth if you're going to these underage drinking parties and things like that, for the love of God, please be careful.
Yeah.
Because I've had a personal experience, and I think you might know what I'm talking about, where a person our coworker, both worked at this restaurant, ended up stealing a bottle, and he went off on this rage saying that, my dad's going to do this, my dad's going to do that. But he was also in the hospital a couple weeks earlier for alcohol poisoning.
Yeah.
And so you got to think about it. Is it worth it, messing up your life like that, where people know that this guy just does whatever he wants to do and will steal from his job to get what he wants?
Yeah. And I remember that.
To the people that are legally allowed to buy alcohol,
please
do not buy alcohol for minors. Do not do that.
Please don't.
Because the person that put him in the hospital was supplying him alcohol. And I had a talk with him, and he still did it anyways.
Yeah. And
so do not feed people their addictions.
Right. And I don't condone underage drinking. I really don't. But it's something that can't be stopped. So if you are underage drinking, when you shouldn't be, I'm gonna tell your fucking parents. If you are underage drinking, please be careful. Do not drink and drive. If one mistake, could either land you in jail or you could kill somebody, and it's just not worth it.
Or you can get a business shut down, because the bar that we visited, when those underage kids showed up,
yes,
and you know who I'm talking about. I was speaking with the bartender, and he said that if the police officer showed up, or if anything like that had happened, and they heard that, they could literally take the license away from that place and get that business shut down. And that's a staple in that community.
Right. I just think that, I don't know. I think generation kids, especially younger kids who were born in the 2000s, they're just like, they were born into like this, into like this whole kind of phase that it's going on,
Yeah.
And like I said, everyone's becoming addicted to something. Everyone's got their mental illness now. Everybody's got their addiction now. Everyone's got something now. But it's like, how much of those are true? How much of that is true? Because just because you see it online that, oh yeah, you smoke cigarettes, once or twice a week, and then you're gonna be like, oh, I'm addicted. No, you just smoke cigarettes once or twice a week. You're just trying to chill out. Because addiction is addiction, and you'll know, But
another thing is, don't do it to be cool either.
Oh my god, dude! I can't stress this enough. For any young kid that ends up watching this, do not do anything just to be cool. Holy shit, it's really not worth it. Just be yourself. If you don't want to drink, if you want to be straight edge, be straight edge. There's nothing fucking wrong with that. Just because people want to call you a pussy or whatever, just be straight edge, bro. Fuck those kids, dude.
I would rather someone call me a pussy than me trying to do something to be cool, because it's not. Because those people that you're trying to impress do not care.
They don't care. They just want to see you get fucked up, so that way they can film you and put you on Vine, so they can go viral.
Exactly.
And that's what kids love to do now.
And when they see that you're trying to impress them, they're gonna think in their mind is, this guy I can use for whatever purpose I want to just impress me, even though I don't care about this person.
Right. Addiction is just such a crazy thing, dude. Because it varies so much from person to person. Everybody takes it differently. But as a whole, I feel like us as humans, if one person can get through it without having some other dumb shit to help them out, if they can get through it naturally, everybody can. Everyone might be different, but we're all human. We're all meant to be that way. So there's no excuse for you not to put down that crack pipe, or stop taking Xans and just chill out, or stop drinking, or stop smoking. Like, there's no excuse for you not to. My job's too hard. Who cares? Go fucking go for a run, go for a walk, go read a book, do something. I'm depressed. Shit's going on in my life. Just do something else.
What we're saying is, it's like, it's okay to have a drink when you're of age and you know your limits as well.
Right.
Because the second that a person posts something on the internet, that's written in ink.
Right.
And you're not getting rid of that.
No, absolutely not.
And even though jobs, employers say that we don't look at your social media history, they look at your social media history.
Oh, yeah. People are watching all the time.
Yeah. So Yeah, that's what I'm personally stressing, or not stressing out, or just letting you guys know that don't impress other people. Drink when you're of age and you know your limit, and don't let it consume your life because you will lose things that you care about.
Right. Well, I think it's just about a good time to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Any last words you want to say? Anything you want to throw in real quick?
You can follow me on Twitter through the image above.
Yeah.
I write books. Working on another book. I'm also working on games as well for the Android right now.
What are the games called?
Well, we got Tapping Balls,
Balls.
It's on the Android. It's been a while, and I forgot the other name of my game.
Nice.
So,
well, to wrap it up here, all I really have to say is Eminem, chill out. You know, it's not that deep. You have your. Go ahead.
Yeah, that is a better note to leave off on. Eminem, you need to chill.
Eminem, if you ever see this down the road, chill out. It's not that deep. You have your place in music history. Just relax, take a breather, and just live the rest of your life. Logan Paul, suck my dick. I don't like him, but that fight, that's just my opinion. And as far as everyone who's struggling with addiction, you can get through it. And I know it seems hard right now. And
find a group.
Find a support group. Addiction's tough, but you can get through it. You know.
Yeah.
Ending it all is not necessarily the way out. And so if you need a support group, you can always my Twitter is open, so my messages are always open. You can always message me. I'm always gonna reply. If you're struggling with addiction and depression right now, just know that there's always a better way out. There's no bad endings. You know, sometimes there is, but you can always make a change. But it's about how much you want to change. If you want to stay sad, stay sad. You know, stay depressed, stay addicted. But if you want to make a change, you'll step the fuck up and do it.
Absolutely.
And so that's really all I have to say about it right now. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I just want to thank everybody that came and joined today. And I appreciate everyone that came in and tuned in. And hopefully you guys got something out of this. I want to thank William for helping me host and, being my host.
Well, thank you so much, man.
I also want to thank the artists that were featured today. I want to thank Paper Cleveland for submitting his songs, and I want to thank Kiefer Ian for submitting his songs, and I want to thank Kasma Howard for submitting his songs. We'll be back next Sunday to talk about some more shit you may or may not like. We will also have some new music and from some new artists. So if you enjoyed it, subscribe and keep thinking.
Yeah.